namaste, good afternoon to everybody, and welcome to Indus Valley International Film Festival 2020. Now we are going to show you a documentary film, Qasida of Dhaka. So this is about a lost art form, poetry form, which is being tried to be revived. And this has been done by director Anarya Murshid ji, and we will be joined by him and the CEO of Bangalore, Khaledur Rahman Divanji, at the end of the screening, which will be about 20 minutes long. So I'd now like to request that we screen the documentary film, Qasida of Dhaka. Of Bangalore, Khaledur Rahman Saab, and also Anarya Murshid ji, who is the director of the film Qasidas of Dhaka. My name is Supriti, and I'm very happy and privileged that both of you have joined us today. So we'll have a quick discussion on this. See, I find that in India there are, when there was with the Islamic rule, there were a lot of art forms that evolved. And in India, for example, we had Zikir Zari, which is an art form in Assam. And a lot of Muslims who traveled to Assam and settled there around the 17th century during the Ahom dynasty's rule, they have now continued that tradition. And they continue to sing. So it's a song which is very lilting and light, somewhat like a qasida. And zikir zari means zikr karna, Allah ka zikr karna, or zari means usko zari rakhna, continued mention of the Lord. So उस तरह से एक ये art form है, और भी है जैसे दास्तान गोई, which is about storytelling, Urdu storytelling. But that's a little different, of course. उसमें इतना song नहीं आता है जितना जिक्र जारी में आता है. So this is a very interesting phenomenon in the South Asian region, that we find Qawwali, we find Marsiya, we find Qasidas, we find Zikr Zari, we find Dastan Goi, even a lot of Kathak, which has evolved at some level from the Muslim rule that we had in India. So I'm very curious to know a lot more about Qasidas from you. Of course, we saw the film, but it will be nice to hear from both of you.
I think this is Khaled, as you could rightly say. Bangalore is a concern of EBS group. You can see my name is EBS, I'm the CEO of EBS. Mm-hmm. Bangalore, it's not a traditional production house. We do a lot of non-traditional work as well. This is part of that also that we do. Our primary objective to actually dig down the deep-rooted cultural activities that still persist. Mm-hmm. So, as you rightly pointed out, in this entire region, we have different genres of music. Mm-hmm. And comes from different cultural backgrounds. Mm-hmm. And different parts of the history. We had different types of music that came out. So during the last year Ramadan, not this Ramadan, last year Ramadan, we were actually, my director, Mr. Anarya Murshid, came to me and he pitched this idea that we want to do something on Qasida. And I grew up in an old Dhaka, where when I was small, during the Ramadan, during the Sehri time, they used to put some drums and sang the Qasidas to wake up us for the Sehri. So, and so I have that sweet little memories because I grew up in old Dhaka. A lot of people don't have that kind of memory because they never heard of it, Qasida. Because only in certain pockets of the country, in the city, that some people still actually practice Qasida. Same as Qawwali. Our next job will be in Qawwali. I'm giving away. So Qasida, then he pitched this idea and that was Ramadan time, and our intention was to release it before the Ramadan that ends, before the Eid al-Fitr, right? So, and it was not a planned job. There was no budget allocated for this. So I told him, okay, I only give you a camera and do as much as you can do. So he actually ran out and he spent many nights in different pockets of the old Dhaka to bring that live picture, that as what it was happening at night. So you could see it is a very low budget project, and but it came out to be very nice as a historical document of the country. When we released it this year, we actually could not release it because we still had some editing to do, and the Eid al-Adha came, so Eid al-Fitr already over, so we released it this year. And as you can see, we are also a post-production team. So entire job was done by my few of the 3 persons actually, entire project. So one cameraman, one director, and one post-production person. So you could see how we had pulled it off within very limited budget on this one, because we were involved in some big project at that time. We were doing a contemporary movie based on the musician Gohinel Gan, which we have launched it this year. But it was a big budget movie. Compared to this one was actually, as I said, we didn't really put a lot of money. Most of the came out from the love and effort that the team put into this. History, as you could see, Bangladesh is a melting pot in terms of culture and religion and music. We have a lot of traditional Lalon songs. We have many Bhawaiya, Mushidi, different types of genres of music, we have here. When we studied this part of the Muslim journey that started from the Mughal period, you rightly pointed out, we went try to dig out the story from all the Nawabs who used to live, how they encourage this sort of music at that time, and how it grew. So little bit of research was done by Anarya, and he showed it to me. And as I said, we did this production only 4 nights. That's all we did. So the only post production we couldn't do because, as I said, that we had other engagement at that time. But for a historical point of view, in the local newspaper, it was highly rated in terms of effort point of view and bringing up the history that we are trying to portray here. And also trying to find out this music, people that still living, we are trying to put up a platform so they can actually perform. So in music, this documentary doesn't end here. It's just a start. What we are trying to put up a platform for them to perform in the mainstream. Because if we cannot bring them mainstream, this thing will get lost eventually. So as you can see, we are doing regular shows with them now. At least once in a 3 months of time, we give them a platform. We Bangalore, we also do some streaming, Facebook streaming from our studio. Different types of musicians comes and they perform. So we are trying to give this also in that platform, so a lot of people can watch it. So that's one of the, as I said, it was a personal inspiration from me because I grew up in Old Dhaka and I was very much accustomed to it. My mother used to tell me stories that how they used to play, and then when I was growing up. So a lot of stories also come from my mother. That she was a very good storyteller. She used to tell a lot of old Dhaka stories when she was the first time in Dhaka. So that's why I was personally very encouraged to do this, even though the timing was very short, within few days. And thanks to Anarya, he pulled it off successfully on this one. So I think that's I can say at this point.
Nice, very nice. Thank you so much. Anarya ji, if you can also tell us, in fact, I want to ask this also to Khalid ji, how did you find all these people? Like, did you have to do a lot of research to find all these?
Exactly. Anarjo has been doing some research on this type of subjects for, last 1 year before he actually pitched to me that,
Okay.
why don't we do a documentary? So,
Hmm.
because one of the things that, you see, I have many other, what you call media related people, but their thought process more on the contemporary. Anarjo is a
Hmm.
little bit offbeat. He always does different types of jobs. So, every time he comes to me, I give him really good I listen him very carefully what he's trying to say. So as I said, it was a very audacious project, but Onajo did, and most of the credit goes to him. I just played, as a guide, nothing but all the credit goes to him to bring it to the forefront. Even to my to just to tell you, because at the time, as I said, we were doing a big movie. All the company focus was on the big movie. But in terms of the newspaper and the media, this project actually got more better reviews than our movie. So you can understand. So I think,
Nice.
yeah,
Very
good.
nice. Great.
Okay.
So, Anarya, can you tell us a little bit how did you do the research and how did the idea come in your head that you should work on this?
Okay, I need 3 to 4 minutes to
Sure,
explain
sure.
my 2012. At that time, I was working with Dhaka Kendra. The Dhaka Kendra is a research-based organization of Dhaka. There was a museum. I was the curator of the museum. I have also worked on tidying up their library for a few days. While working on the library, I studied the history of Dhaka. A few days later, I got a job as a scriptwriter in an advertising agency in Dhaka. But my aims and objective is movies. The different movies, the different movies of movements, I am impressed by it. I will write a series on the music of Dhaka. For a long time, I was away from filmmaking. I am looking to make a film in order to earn a living. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
We can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I had to take up a different job last year. Khaledur on day one, CEO of our organization, who is with us today, expressed his interest. I went to work with a nominal budget. I took about 40 hours of food. The way that I thought before. I was afraid to sit on the editing panel. I did not want to be. Maybe most of the documentary director do not want to sit in the first editing. Whenever I found the story line up at the end of 7 days, then I started breaking the story line up once a day on the editing panel. After 7 days, under the pressure of production company, I handed over the content to them. But still I think it was not a normal delivery. It was a Caesar. This may be the cause when working with an organization. I'm very thankful to my cinematographer, my editor, poster designer, graphics designer. For their hard working, I have been able to bring it to light. The amount of the time I got for shooting, it was not enough. Editing a documentary at a conference in pandemic situation, and I think it was a great challenge. Because of that, you may have noticed some weakness in particular. The music have been better. I will pay more attention to these issues in future films if you get your advice and suggestions.
Okay, that was very nice, Anarya. Um, so, like we saw in the documentary itself, there are some very old families who have been doing this for many years. And then he said there are different types of qasidas. Can you tell us about that? How do they preserve? Like वो कसीदा कहाँ लिखा होता है? वो जो पोएट्री होती है वो कहीं पे लिखा रहता है क्या? किसी बुक में रहता है कि खाली ओरल ट्रेडिशन है?
I can also answer this
Please
point.
do, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's traditionally carried forward generation after generations and their
Okay.
close families. So this is how this being preserved. Documentation's point of view, there is no books or any write-ups. As I said, they keep it in a very small notebook and pass on to the generations after generations. That's what our findings and what Sonajo brought out, and from his research, he went very remote places, different neighborhoods, that's obscene areas, non-traditional. So, but they're maintaining the whole course of music creation, and they're innovating into the current contemporary ideas. So they're injecting into it. So even though the music came from a very different perspective, more on the religious perspective, then turn into a festival type of perspective. Now they are creating the music, looking at the uh, current scenarios, current political situations, or social issues. So, but the thing is, it is not in a big scale. This is where we need people like us should come forward and actually give them some platform so they can do in a bigger scale, because they are still maybe less than 100 families are involved into this. So it should be bringing to the front line and mainstream media. So that's why these things can be preserved. And this documentary itself, we also thought we are preserving a part of our history by doing this documentary. It's not just a documentary. And what I'm telling you today, we are planning to do it again in a bigger scale, with a lot more budget into it, and with lot more people involved in it. But it was, I would say, as a pilot case, whether we can actually deliver it and how the people respond to it. Since the response are very positive, and we are planning to do our next project in a bigger scale. So that has given us the inspiration that we can move forward.
Nice.
And yeah, so as you said, rightly pointed out, it is not preserved properly, just in their own private way they are preserving. There is no national documentations point of that the people keeping all those. Even lot of old music that in the country being preserved in digitally right at this point. we are trying to preserve some of them digitally. As you can see, we have recorded some of their music in our own studio and trying to keep them.
Okay.
But again, it needs a national movement,
Hmm.
and we are trying to play into this. As you can understand, uh, there are certain socio-political aspects to other languages in like Hindi, especially Urdu, because
Hmm.
after the separation from Pakistan,
Hmm.
Urdu is being like hated like anything. You can understand that sentiment. We are trying to put it into a different perspective because culture is
Hmm.
culture. You need to embrace culture that
Correct.
should come from anywhere. And,
Right.
that's
Right.
the perception we are trying to break the silo.
Hmm.
We're
Hmm.
trying to break the norm and bringing the culture from everywhere that
Yeah.
we had. As I said, historically Bangla was always a melting pot, right? So
Hmm.
Portuguese came here, all the peoples came here. Then
Right.
the English, British came, and
Yes.
then we have that history. So
Right.
good part of it we should preserve, and we continue to do it. And this
Right.
is the first time we did dare to do it,
Hmm.
and then it was accepted very positively. That's the good part of it.
Okay.
So again,
Great.
I think yeah, we have a lot of responsibility in this one.
Yes, definitely. So they say that a Qasida is written in praise of someone, either God or even a king or
King.
royalty. So, did you come across any Qasida which is not like in praise of God, but in praise of a person?
Anajo can explain. Anajo, eh, did you understand? I let him speak in Bangla. He has some difficulties in English. So, Anajo, are you there?
He's there actually. If you can just help us to
Yeah,
translate in Bangla, that
yeah.
will be nice.
অনার্য যেটা বলছিল যে রাজা এবং আল্লাহ তাআলা বা খোদাদের নিয়ে ছাড়া এমনি কোন ব্যক্তি মানুষকে নিয়ে কি কখনো কোনো কাসিদা তৈরি হয়েছে?
No, I think he is locked out. He will come
Yeah,
back.
he's locked out. Actually,
Acha, sorry.
I didn't see that one
Huh,
because I read the script and I saw some of his research.
huh.
Mostly, yes, mostly for the God and religion. I mean, religion, God, and also the kings, nawabs at
Hmm.
that point of time.
Hmm.
But I haven't come across. But contemporary stories being told, I have seen through Qasida. Uh, Even as
Okay.
you know, you talked about Marcia, right? So we
Huh.
saw a lot of Qasida also based on Hassan Hussein's story as well. So
Huh.
so there are a lot of Qasida came out different story points view also. So but in
Okay.
terms of any individual, I don't have that knowledge. Probably he has.
Acha. So Marcia is when is there a critical relevance for Marcia when that is sung? Like Qasidas are sung especially during Ramadan, like you said. तो मरसिया का भी ऐसे कोई स्पेसिफिक टाइम होता है कि
It's Marcia, mostly. Yeah, the Imam Hussein's birthday and his when he was killed. So that time it is hugely Marcia being popular.
हाँ,
But that you see, Qasida was more universal than Marcia here and
हम्म,
historically. So
हम्म,
Qasida was for everybody. Marcia was only from Shiites, that group of people. So Sunnis were not very much into Marcia. So there
हम्म,
is a division sect point of view, but Qasida
हाँ,
was more universal point of view.
okay, okay. So Qawwali is very popular. You know, in India, for example, I don't think many people know about Marsiya or even Qasida. In fact, in Hindi we say, "Bas Qasida mat padhte raho, kuch kaam karo." You know, which is to say, just don't be
Yeah,
lilting in
yeah,
poetry. Get down to brass tacks. No, so
yeah,
we have
yeah,
some phrases like that,
yeah.
but. I at least am not very aware about Qasida being that popular in India. I'm sure it exists. We don't know about it. But Qawwali is very, very popular, and very popular with young people also, partly because Bollywood has twisted Qawwali and made it into a competition between two groups. But the real Qawwali, the original Qawwali, is also very popular. So how is it in Bangladesh?
Qawwali, as I said, I grew up in old Dhaka, and over there at that time, I'm talking about up to 80s. I'm talking about uh, when I was a child, at least a school-going child. During 80s, I have seen there were certain their original Dhakayas. The people were they were very much into Qawwalis. So area I lived, we had Qawwali programs at that time.
Okay.
And then in the 90s, Qawwali was almost absent from the scene
Achha.
because a lot of other things, and then Hindi movies and other thing also took over, and songs, and and because culture adopts a lot of international things.
Yes.
So now in 2000, after like I have seen now mainstream TV also, at least during Eid or sometimes they are doing Qawwali programs. It was absent for like last 20 years.
Okay.
So it is taking resurfacing because
Right.
people understand the because Qawwali is so popular in India now, so they are trying to bring it back. So as you can see, whatever happens India in the culturally, there has some residual impact here also.
Very okay.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice to hear that.
Qawwali is making a comeback again here.
Okay.
Because I was even during this Eid ul Adha, I was watching TV with my wife at night, and I saw there was a Qawwali program. Especially for half an hour, but still it was there. They took a slot. So that means it is resurfacing, resurfacing. So which is good, which is good.
So when I first heard the first Qasida which is played in the film, it sounds very much like Zikir Zari. Zikir Zari is also, when I first heard Zikir Zari a few 4-5 years ago only, I thought it's like a soft form of Qawwali. And I thought it will be nice if we can have some people from Bangladesh come and listen to Zikir Zari, which is not very far, just in Assam. And if we could have some of the Zikir Zari artists listen to Qasida, I'm sure they would know about it. The artists would know. As people who are listeners, I did not know so much about Qasida and even Zikir Zari, though it's from India.
Zikir Zari, as you could see, Zikir Zari, because Assam is very close to certain parts of Bangladesh.
Yes.
And their language also same.
Yes.
So a lot of Assamese Zikir Zari we have also here. As I said, it got lost over the years. We need to do some research and find those people. But it is also there, Zikir Zari, but we trying to find out, because it's a small pockets, different places they have it. But again, I need to bring it back into the mainstream.
Right.
But we would love to go to Assam and have a look on it.
Yeah, I'm sure the artists would be very happy to interact, with you and with artists across the border. It will be very nice if that could actually happen. So, one challenge we find in India is that children are not interested in many of these things. And for children to get interest in this, you have to really make them listen to this. Once they listen, then they like it. Like I said, they like Qawwali, but they have never heard Zikir Zari or Qasidas. And even if they hear a Qasida, they may not understand it because they don't have that, that level of understanding of Urdu. So, how do you think? I mean, is it a similar problem? And how do you think we should address this issue? Because if we want this to go on, children have to start appreciating today.
I mean, it's a good point, but it is not that depressing. But there are a lot of encouraging scenarios also that popping up. You see, lot of traditional music or like Bhatiali, Murshidi, we have different sorts of music, right? A Lalon, then Lalon songs. So, good interesting part of it, new generation actually twisting those same lyrics, putting a different sort of music to it. So that fusion is going on. So it's not that. So whenever there is what I say in terms of writing good songs, they always fall back to the old songs and make it reproduce it. So this way, I think there is a way to actually penetrate the youth, and we are trying to do that also here. Some regeneration of music or reproducing it with the new type of singers. So Lalon songs, like you probably heard of Lalon songs. Lalon songs are now being reproduced by new generation in a different way. They are very popular from our parents' generation. We also heard them when we were kids, and we still hear and listen to them. But our kids look at it in a very different perspective. Also, in terms of reading, as you said, we are a group of companies. We saw the people don't like to, our kids don't like to read, they like to listen more. So we are producing a lot of audio books for them. So we are producing a lot of, audio books to them, and audio books, horror stories in audio books, and they're getting very popular. So this is the way we trying to entice the youth to the literary field, because literature, if they get now traditional books, people don't, their kids don't want to read. We are living in a video generation. They want to watch. We are living in a video generation. Everybody has a story to tell, and everybody wants to watch. So putting the right content with so many bad content is also a very tricky job. Everybody has a story to tell. If they have a mobile handset, they will do something. So putting up the right story and the right way is very challenging at this time of the period that we see. But again, it is not. It is encouraging that we can still tap. At the end of the day, they will come to their roots. We've seen that in time and again. So we do run a lot of music competitions through our platform. We have IVR platforms where we last time we did competition on the regional musics, that you sing a song from your region and record it in our IVR platform. Very encouraging hits that the kids from everywhere, they were actually singing on our platform, and we ran a competition, and then we did a physical. We selected top 10 through a physical program with the judges. But up until now, the voting was done through IVR, and entire platform was done. So we're trying to do some works to the kids to get engaged, because regional music, every region have their own music, right? So they are, based on their ethnicity, they have their different. So we made a competition so they can go back to their roots. Yes, lot to be done. Mainstream media will not do it, and somebody has to do it. So that's where we are trying to do.
Nice. Anything else you want to share with us?
Actually, when I didn't know Anarya submitted this one, this for any competition or any screening. But thanks for letting us, show our small effort. As you could see, it is not a commercial effort. It's a very much from our heart that we try to produce, and we hope we can do it better next time.
Yeah. I think it's a very big responsibility for, Harsh has called this festival the Indus Valley Festival. I think it's a very big responsibility for all of us in this region, because we have a history. You see, we have a history which goes back 5,000 years also. So we have a lot that we can try to trace and preserve. Maybe that's not true of some other countries, but we have that richness in our heritage. It will be very nice if we can, protect it. And, Khalid Saab, like how you are doing, I think this is wonderful because you have brought a professional approach to the protection of heritage. And that makes it very, what should I say, professional, but also very sophisticated in some way. So with minimal resources, but in a very focused manner, if we go after trying to preserve about Qasida or Marsiya or about Zikir Zari or about even Qawwali for that matter, or any other art forms that you have, at least we have some way of sharing that information. Otherwise, when will I ever get to listen to a recital or a Qasida recital? It may, I don't know when that would happen, but at least through the documentary, I'm getting a full idea about it. So this is really beautiful, and thank you so much for it. I think Harsh may have a few questions I have just been asking you, but Harsh, please come in.
Khalid Saab, I see Anarya has come. So would you like to ask him in Bangla about his research, what kind of research he did? Yeah, then
sure.
Translate it in English.
Yeah, sure. Anarya.
Yes, sir.
ওকে আপনার রিসার্চের ম্যাটেরিয়ালটা আমাকে একটু বাংলায় আবার বলেন, যে একটা প্রশ্ন ছিল যে শুধু কি রাজা বাদশা এবং ধর্মের ব্যাপারে কি কাসিদা, না ইন্ডিভিজুয়াল মানুষকে নিয়েও কাসিদা তৈরি হয়েছে? রিসার্চটা কিভাবে করলেন?
হ্যাঁ, ইন্ডিভিজুয়াল মানুষকে নিয়েও কাসিদা হয়েছে, যেমন বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান নিয়েও কাসিদা হয়েছে আর কি।
কার বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর
রহমানকে নিয়েও কাসিদা হয়েছে। এটা আমাদের ডকুমেন্টারি কাজ।
ওকে, গুড, অলরাইট, গুড। রিসার্চটা কিভাবে করছেন আরেকটু বলেন, আমি একটু ওদের বোঝায় বলি।
রিসার্চটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি পুরান ঢাকায় দীর্ঘদিন থেকে বিভিন্ন জায়গায় গিয়ে ওই দলগুলোকে খোঁজ করে তারপর আমি রিসার্চটা।
Okay, good. Okay. I think I understand. One of the question that was there, that whether the individual story of individual persons was there. Yes, as you could be our nation of the father's nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. There was a qasida on him, which is very surprising. You could understand. So there is individual people or politicians, even stories that he found out. In terms of research, as I said, he stayed in Old Dhaka, different spots. You met many people, and you visited all the libraries that preserve old books.
Very nice.
This is, that's how he actually bring in. One of the things that he also mentioned in it, because he also worked as a journalist in his initial career.
Okay.
So he has that journalistic approach to it. So this is the reason actually I was more delighted and to be having in the team. I was talking about our entire ebook platform, and also the entire department is under Anarya also. He also does that job for me, in addition to writing scripts and making movies. So good. I think that's translation that I can give it to you.
So I want to plus something.
Go ahead.
I think Qasida research it helps to me because I was a student of Arabic literature, and Qasida comes from Arabic language. That in the documentary. For this reason, it is easy to me. It was easy to me.
Okay, nice.
And I read the understand that for this reason it is easy to replace.
Couldn't hear you properly last lines, but you could understand.
Yes.
His master's was on Islamic studies, and the Arabic history. So he has much more literature. So he has much more knowledge on that. Anyway, I think good.
Khalid sir, I wanted to know what is the next project you are working or you want to work on.
Okay.
1 or 2
Yeah.
years? What kind of project?
Okay. I'm going to tell. My next project it's Kawali, because you know that
Okay.
it's a series of music. Qasida is one of them, and it's the series of the first series, Qasida.
Okay.
And second, it will be Kawali. Third, it will be Marcia.
Acha.
That's occurred by Shia family.
Okay.
And then Song of Paris, Dhaka.
Okay. Very good.
Also,
And
there is a Indian part of this.
very good. Khalid sir, what about you? What kind of project do you want to do in next coming times?
I mean, yeah, I think this project obviously will go music of Dhaka, as you said. He was rightly pointed saying that. So there will be series of musics that popular over the years throughout the history, and this is our big project. Now as I said, we just launched a movie, commercial movie, Gohine Gan. It was based on music also. Asif Akbar, the musician, one top rated musician of Bangladesh. So he was the actor, music also. He sang all the song. So you can, we'll give you can visit our Bangalore page and see a little bit. Next project point of view, we'll work on this, but we are working on a, what I say, some secret project at this time. We are trying to work something bigger scale, involving our father of the nation. So we are trying to do something which is live and other thing. So that is one project that we are working on this at this point.
I think a feature film is also being made by Shyam Benegal on the life of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Yeah, big scale going on, but we are trying to do some documentaries and other things in a different angle, different perspective. So we're trying to do that, and a big movie is coming. I know that one. Big director doing that, and it will be a good movie. We know that also. But from our point of view, we are doing at this point this project. We'll continue to do put more focus on the music. Bangladol is the largest license holder of Bangladeshi music, because we sell music through different telecom platforms, VOD on demand. So our VOD on demand, we are running in 3 operators in Bangladesh, 4 operators in Middle East. We are launching in Africa. So that is our core business. Whatever we make money from there, we put it into good work. So it is not a non-commercial type of elements. We do it. So our revenue generator is from the video on demand platform that we run in different countries. We are the largest content provider in Bangladesh, music, audio, visual in Bangladesh. We're the number 1 EBS. So so that's where we make the money, and we try to do some work, good work from the Bangalore perspective. Bangalore is a production house. Also, we have our own post-production team. We have our own studio. So because of the content creation, we maintain that, and now we are trying to do some good work for the society as a whole. So hopefully we can, coming days, we can produce better. Due to COVID, we've been a little bit shortchanged, but it should be good. Also, now we have to do some commercial work also, so we are producing little bit of advertising for different companies. So like a ad farm, we are giving small commercial advertising to the different companies, because you also need a revenue generator to do all these jobs. So that is the revenue generating part. So we design different advertising for small companies.
That's very good, sir.
Yeah, we do that.
We will talk to you soon again.
Okay, hopefully, because I've been to Delhi number of times, but for my software company, never for music or entertainment. Because our software company EBS, we have many Indian partners, so I go to India very often to meet with my partners. Been to Delhi number of times, But hope that next time we can even attend your program.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll talk to
Very
you.
good.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Shruti,
Thank
nice
you.
meeting you.
Same here. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.